Alright guys, to install the final stage kit for the Strongarm, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. And the first step is to remove all your screws, and I've already done that to save time. When you split your shell, it's a good idea to use the flathead to help you pry it apart. It has a tendency to stick up in the front, and you don't want to lose your trigger catch spring or the accessory tooth. Okay. And take the accessory tooth and set it aside. You can see here the trigger catch has lifted and the trigger catch spring has come out. So we're going to set that aside. So the first step is to remove your trigger. It's held in place by a single screw. And once you've done that, you can take out all of your internals. And once you've done that, you can set the shell aside and take your final stage plunger and spring. You're going to want to remove the plunger catch here at the back so you can get the spring on. And to do that, grab it and twist, and it should come out pretty easily. Next, slide the spring over the plunger, making sure it seats fully against the plunger head, and compress it just to the point where you can put the catch back in. And you want the hook of the catch to be pointing downward. It will come in your kit already installed, so when you take it out, just take note of the orientation to make it easier to put it back. And to put it back, put it straight on top and press down. It should snap right in place. Next, take your O-ring and slide it over the plunger head. And we're going to apply a very thin coat of grease. There's a pretty decent amount of grease already inside of the stock plunger tube, so you don't really have to put much on the O-ring itself. When you get your grease tube, there'll be a metal seal in the front, and use the pointed end of the cap to puncture that seal. So we're just going to put a very light coat. And once you've done that, take your stock plunger out of the original plunger tube. Be careful not to lose this spring or this spring here. Just take that and set it aside. And install the new final stage plunger, making sure the hook here is pointing down. From here, take your shell and line up these two pegs with these two holes in the shell. You may have to remove your cylinder to do this, but most of the time it should pop right back into place. There you go. Alright, from here, take your final stage trigger catch and just set it in place. The wings on the trigger catch go in between the blue shell and the gray priming handle. There's a small gap they slide into right here. And take your final stage metal trigger and set it into place. Next, get the trigger screw and screw down the trigger. This will hold the trigger catch in place and make it much easier to put the trigger catch spring in. And we'll do the trigger spring first. Make sure to press it all the way onto the spring post there. And the strong arm trigger catch spring is much narrower than a normal end strike trigger catch spring, so it's easy to identify. And it is going to go through this hole in the trigger catch right here. So press it up into the trigger catch. You'll notice the trigger catch likes to lift out of the blaster, so be careful not to let the spring shoot out while you're putting the shell back together. And unlike the Retaliator, the strong arm shell goes together much more easily. So if everything's lined up, it should just snap into place. Oh, and before that, of course, don't forget the accessory tube. And there we go. Next, take your screwdriver, put all the screws in, and you're ready to test fire. Before putting the screws in, because this still has the air restrictor in it, dry firing should be okay. So we're going to do a quick test to make sure everything catches. There we go, it should be smooth. Of course, with the increased spring pressure, it's a little more difficult to prime, but you shouldn't feel any excessive resistance. So let's test fire, and when you test fire without screws, make sure you hold the shell together. Alright, the cylinder rotated, everything looks good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put the screws in, and it'll be good to go. Thanks for watching.